Hey guys, EX20 here, back with another game review, but this time we're going on Nintendo Wii to play a game called House of the Dead Overkill. Like I do in my other game reviews, I'll give you a brief history. Well, House of the Dead, does that not ring a bell to you? Yes, it's one of the biggest shooter franchises in the arcade, and it's brilliant. And so eventually a company decided to, hey, let's put it on the console, and now we have House of the Dead Overkill as today. So now let's get cracking on the review and shoot some heads. Yeah, right, that was bad. Now we'll talk about the gameplay itself and what it involves. There's several things to do, but we'll discuss them each time. So first off, we'll get the story mode done and dusted, since that's the most obvious thing you would pick, because if you don't, then you're retarded. Oh yeah. And basically, as you can see, it has select stages where you can basically choose any stage, and each of them have a movie-themed poster, because this game is supposed to be based off like a grindhouse look, as you can see from the game's footage in that. And it's really good. So each story has a different mode and a story end boss. And most of the end bosses, unlike the other House of Deads, they're a joke. Why they're a joke? They're simply easy to beat. They're no challenge whatsoever. And if you have another player on the team, you can basically whoop it in 10 seconds. I'm really disappointed in the bosses because in the House of Dead arcade bosses, there is a lot of hard ones. I'll mention one, the Sloth. That thing is an absolute bitch because it's fast as hell and it keeps your adrenaline up. This one is just lazy, they didn't really put a lot of effort. I'm not saying the boss designs aren't bad, it's just they're really easy to beat. But the actual enemies themselves range from normal zombies that are fast, and of course the fast ones that try and grab you, but you can smack the bitch right back in the face. Oh, and I forgot to mention, they're not zombies, they're mutants, as quoted in here.
Shit, I fucking hate these zombies.
Mutants? How many times do I have to tell you not to use the Z word?
Yes, apparently, but they're still zombies, come on, mutant freaks running around. The enemies themselves range from animals, different types of zombies, big fat ones, armored ones, and especially ones with riot shields, because they're an absolute bitch, because you have to shoot their legs or shoot them before they punch you. Most of the time they're gonna punch you in the face, and it's not that good when you're in a situation with loads of them at the same time. Now we'll talk about the stuff you can use in the game, of course. Certain things you can find when you're in the game is, of course, these green DNA, and what they do, they allow you to temporarily slow down time, which allows you to kill things quicker and help you out of deathly situations. Recommend to shoot them when there's a lot of them. You also have grenades, which will literally obliterate anything in your path with one shot, but save them because there's not a lot of them around. There's also the golden brains, which just really help to add to your score. There's also save survivors, like again, adds to your score, but saving them and blah blah blah, you know the rest. Also, there's a special scoring mode. As long as you don't miss any zombies and keep shooting them, you'll get this reaction. Keep going higher and higher, and it gets higher and higher. That adds double points to your score. The only problem is if you try using a machine gun or rifle weapon, they instantly will get rid of it because they just need to shoot once and they already take off the shot. Best to use shotguns and pistols for it. After beating a level, you'll get the general rank scoreboard showing how much you've done or how much you get in your rank and stuff. But you can use the points you earn to buy upgrades for your guns, or buy guns, or maxims of death machines. Also, see the assault rifle and all shotgun at max? You're going to pretty much blow the game in 10 seconds because it's really easy to beat the game with those two weapons since they're almost overkill, those two guns. Recommend maxing them out if you want to just sweep the game easily. Director's Cut basically means you play the level you've already played, but it's longer and more enjoyable experience, and there's little things thrown in there. And plus you can get a lot of dosh out of those levels because it's so much harder and you get a lot more points since it's so long. So if you want a better experience of the level, try Director's Cut. And finally, the minigames. There is 3 to choose from. We'll start off with Stay Alive, and no, I'm not going to do Stay Alive joke because it's so overused. Basically in that mode, just think of it as killing floor but not moving. Basically you have to shoot as many zombies as you can, as quick as possible, because your timer runs out, you die. But if you kill many waves, it goes up and up. It gets more tougher and tougher, so that can be up to 4 players. Also, I forgot to mention these minigames can be played up to 4 players, which is good. The next one is called Money Shot 2. Basically, you just shoot targets. You first start with the red targets, which are the standard ones, and blue ones, which add more bonus, but then they throw the exploding targets, which you must not shoot. Now, you may think that's easy at first, but it gets harder and harder because more fly in it. It's harder to shoot them all the time without shooting the ones you don't want to shoot. So that's quite a good thing anyway. The last minigame is called Victim Support, which basically means you just protect civilians from zombies as they get into the jail cells. Now, this can be fun, but it's generally harder and harder faster, but it's not one of my favorite minigames, and I find this one very boring. Because it can be very damn boring, but it can be challenging at the same time. With 4 players it might be a bit more fun, but by yourself, it's a bit boring. And now we finally talk about the story. Oh boy, let's get started. First, let's introduce the characters you play as. Agent G, who's only aimed Agent G. Because that's his name, apparently. And the other characters do ask why is he called G, but he never tells them, because it's classified. Then we have Isaac Washington, who I swear says the most F-bombs I've ever heard in the game. And here's an example of a cutscene when he purely does it.
There is country western's finest.
You are one fucked up fuck. You know that? That's offensive shit you're playing me.
You ever thought of therapy?
What the fuck for?
All you do is get pissed off at and with just about anything and anyone. I'm attempting conversation here with you.
Conver fucking sation?
Yes, motherfucking sation. But you know what? I'm gonna shut up. You play your music, you play it your way, and I will just drive.
Can I drive?
No.
Can I have a lollipop?
Yes.
And I think this game actually got a world record for the most F-bombs. Now, I could be wrong, of course, but I'm just saying, he never shuts up saying it. I mean, you just want him just to die. He's so annoying because he never stops saying it, and it's so irritating. So basically, the storyline is thus. Basically, these two have to stop Papa Caesar, who's responsible for the mutant outbreak. Along the way, they meet another character called Vala Guns, who she is just basically eye candy, because she really doesn't serve absolutely any purpose, and she just really is useless. Because she doesn't do anything apart from help them once, and that's it. The story is basically very cheesy and bland, but I will say this, the ending is totally messed up, because I can't even tell you how messed up it is. If I tried telling you, I don't know, I just can't tell you, just gonna have to really see it for yourself. The story is cheesy, has some good bits, but really it's nothing like, oh my god, awesome. It's just meh, and has some cheesy jokes and stuff. But apart from Isaac Washington never shut up saying, you know, F-bombs, which is annoying, it does get kind of irritating. So the story's not perfect. So, in conclusion, if you're looking for a very fast-paced action game fighting epic bosses and all that stuff, you're not gonna find it in this one. Just play the original House of the Dead, which are now available on Wii. Because this one is just too easy. There's no challenge, and it's not brilliant. It's a letdown. The zombies themselves are challenging, but the bosses are just so easy. And like I said, if you have 2 players, you can wipe them out easily. But if you try playing against the other bosses in the original games, that's tough. You really do need a second player to back you up on that, because it's really tough, but they're enjoyable because they're really tough and it gets you in the game. This one doesn't. So really, the only thing the game has good is kind of the style of it and the music, but the story is bad and it's a bit cheesy, but it has some good qualities, but really the game's not perfect. So this game gets out of 10 out of 10, it gets a 6. So I hope you enjoyed this review, and I'll see you next time. Good night, folks.